Yeah. And once the Instagram catches up, then I can go live. Um, because I put that in there. It worked last time, so we'll find out. There it goes. And there we're live on Instagram. Perfect. And
Alrighty.
Nika's gonna double check to make sure. All right.
Okay.
There we go. Uh hello. We'll do the intro.
Alrighty.
It's I almost said it's fucking Thursday. It's it's Tuesday, June 30th. My wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Allie. Welcome
Woo.
to Jack Einecker Show. I'm Jack Einecker, your host. We are powered by Fubar Pack. Joining me on the show today, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Jude Mayer. Jude, hello, and welcome back to the show.
Hello. So happy to be here as always.
It is a wild day today in the world of politics and everything involved. We've got some huge Supreme Court rulings that are coming down from amongst high, with some fake news, actual fake news that happened and then got deleted about the Supreme Court nominees. Pete Hegseth is up to his usual bullshit by promoting XAI and using Grok as a weapon. Wonder how that's going to go, plus a whole bunch of other nonsense. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to lead off with the big news of the day. The Supreme Court has ruled that birthright citizenship is in fact constitutional. Um,
Hooray.
hooray, right?
Just like we've been saying this whole time.
What one would think that when you write the whole ass thing in the Constitution, that people born in the United States are of the jurisdiction of the United States, one would think, hey, that's actually constitutional. But it was fucking close, dude. It was closer than one would have thought. We've got the usual suspects dissenting, the conservative justices that are mad as hell now that you know uh Barrett, and along with the liberal justices, plus a man who the Supreme Court justice, as chief Supreme Court justice, he really does not want history to remember him as poorly as I think he understands that it will. So tell
Yes.
us right now, what did you expect was going to happen?
I mean, here's the thing is that birthright citizenship, that's like what I'm literally in a history class right now because I'm obsessive and I just enjoy like the act of taking classes.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, why don't I just do like pre-Reconstruction American history? I've done it already. I'll do it again. It's so fun. And it's just one of those things that has been that's been around since I think I'm right now I'm in the 16th, no, the 18th century, and I'm like, this is we knew this already. Like we knew that this is the law of the land. It has been for, I mean, celebrating America 250. It's been this way the whole time.
hmm
Not for everyone, but that's what we've adapted it to, and that's the important part that we've continued to make strides in, including people rather than randomly excluding people. Um, and I don't know. I expected it to pass. I expected it to be upheld, but it's amazing how many of these like constitutional fundamentalists are willing to just throw the Constitution out the window when the orange
yeah.
guy is really intent on having something go his way.
We saw this yesterday with how the FTC decisions came down alongside the um, independent agencies. Decision came down.
Hmm.
So with independent agencies, they said, "Oh, Trump can just fire anybody he wants." When it
Yeah.
comes to independent agencies, even though it's been that way for 90 years, right? They completely undid 90 years worth of precedent, and then turn around and said, oh, wait a second, hold on. You can do that for all independent agencies except for the Fed
The Fed. Yeah.
because
We
they know if they do it to the Fed, all hell is going to break loose, right?
Yes.
And it kind of speaks to this fact that they're really answering to one person, even more than Donald Trump. They're answering to the stock market, you know?
Mhm.
Uh,
Absolutely. I mean, we can see how whenever he talks about Iran, usually he's discussing strikes that are going to happen like before the sorry, my contact's acting up.
great.
He's discussing strikes like that are going to happen, and he always likes to make those announcements right before the market closes and make the announcement before that things are going to get better right before the market opens. He is very protective of his money.
Well, they only bomb Iran when the market is closed. So it feels
Yeah.
like every time it gets to Friday afternoon, you're like, oh, that's when the airstrikes are going to happen,
And
right?
then there will be peace talks coming by Monday morning.
Yeah, exactly. So it feels like the Supreme Court is acting in a similar way where they're going to give him basically all the rope that he wants on the stuff that I would say doesn't have such a large financial impact as versus everything else, right? So
Yeah.
if they had just completely undone birthright citizenship, just whole cloth, there would have been mass confusion
Yeah.
on babies born in the US. I read this thing of like talking through how they would have proved that a child was in fact born in the US, and it was just fucking madness, right?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
no plan whatsoever on like how to move forward. It would have been chaos, right? And the only thing that the Solicitor General, who is arguing against, is I'm one of those fucking nut jobs that listens to the oral arguments. Which by the way, go listen to the oral arguments are actually pretty good to listen to.
Mhm.
Even for like lay people like myself, who I'm not a lawyer. But they're still like pretty easy to understand. And like the Solicitor General, they had asked him, like, okay, so what do you want to do? What is your plan for the day after? What is the government's plan for how to like figure out who is a baby and who's not a baby in the US? And he's like, I don't know, fucking Congress will figure it out. And you're like, that's a bad answer.
That's a bad answer. It's just poorly thought out, and it's sort of the type of bureaucratic chaos that I feel as though the kind of MAGA elite has been trying to make government seem as useless and as disorganized as they possibly can, because it's always in that confusion, in that chaos, that a lot can get done very rapidly to either to disassemble government, to make it essentially, gosh, there was a great quote from somebody I'm going to forget, from like the 2010s, that was like, I don't want government to disappear. I just want to take it. I just want to have it shrunk down to the size of that I could hold it in my hand and strangle the life out of it. Like
Yeah.
that's what they want. There's a lot of that going around, and I have to correct myself because I said 18th century like I always do. 1800s, 14th Amendment. Dude,
Yeah.
it's that.
No,
That's what I always do that. I'm always the number become pops in my head, and I never do the
move
forward
it
thing.
over. Yeah, I make the
Mm-hmm.
same mistake. And that's why I mostly only that's why I work in politics today, because you don't have to remember.
So true.
Easy.
You can just be like,
Because we're in
in the year of our Lord, 2026.
yeah, exactly. I just be like, oh, it's the 21st century Fox always bothered me when they made the switch over. And I'm like,
I
wait,
know, that
is
was
it the
sad
20th? Yeah, is it the 20th
because
century? Which fucking one is it? Which one are
and
we at?
you were founded in the 20th century, so why not keep it there?
Exactly.
Um, I also want to say, because we were just touching on some the Supreme Court decisions, the federal agencies situation about him being able to fire those leaders, that was the result of two cases, Trump v. Slaughter and Trump v. Cook.
Yeah.
So Lisa Cook is a officer at the Fed, and she got to keep her job. He wasn't allowed to touch her, like you were saying. Like that was the agency that they said, this is, you can't touch those people. Trump v. Slaughter was the decision that came down saying, but everyone else is fair game.
Yeah. No, it's wild because you have basically it really brings up the question of like, how are they going to figure out a way to flip the switch back once
Hmm.
we get back into a democratic president, you know?
Right.
And the wild swings back and forth, it's just not good for the country, right? We were talking a
Yes.
little bit about this last week, talking about you know, what Europe kind of thinks of us right now, right? Or what
Yeah.
these other nations think about us, and how are they going to be able to make a deal or any sort of like future forward type plans with the United States when you can't trust that there's going to be somebody that was
Yep.
there with the old administration to actually just keep the wheels running, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. There's not a good we haven't left a good legacy of being trustworthy for at the past, I mean, a
No.
decade. It's really I don't know, like it's the pulling out of deals and starting wars without consulting our allies. Like this is it's gonna be a really tricky dance for whoever the next guy is to say, no, 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 I swear though, you can trust me. And even if they are of the other party, that's still, that's not important necessarily to our allies. It's about the will of the people has swung wildly back and forth from electing people who are competent to electing people who are disastrous,
Yeah. And
and
I
we just can't say it's
wonder.
never going to happen again.
No, we can't because we have no idea who the next turd is going to be. And like in the history of the United States, in the long-term history, we've had a couple turds along the way.
Sure.
We've never had one this big. So God
Or
willing,
this
we will.
color.
Yeah, exactly. We will or this chunky really
Oh,
is,
oh, oh God.
eh, speaking of chunky, did you see that Trump got access? Oh, he didn't get access. Well, I should correct myself. Allegedly, a 79-year-old well-connected man got access to a new experimental weight loss drug from Eli Lilly that is like GLP 1000.
Oh
It,
boy,
it
I didn't hear
apparently
anything about this.
it is like bariatric surgery type level, you know, e equivalent, right? So GLP-1s, you just don't eat that much. This one just, like, shrinks 30% of your body weight in no time flat.
Oh my
And
God.
a very well-connected 79-year-old man got this drug, last year, so I wonder who that could be. I
Well, then I
I
have to report
wonder.
it isn't working.
He was looking gaunt the other day. Like, on the video feed, I will put up a picture. He's looking a little, like, little thinner in the face. I mean, that could be any number of things because
Yeah.
79-year-old men just waste away, they're
It's
right
so
at.
Yeah. No, it's so tough. I'm like, because that's not like I just he has access to all the best treatments, and it's like the one person who gets to benefit from single payer healthcare. And
Yeah.
I just it's just infuriating that this is who that is. Yeah, I mean if that's actually the case, that's ridiculous. The idea that like the president gets to try also the president trying an experimental drug period is unheard of and ridiculous. Like I can't even imagine. They talk about like, oh, a woman could be president. What if she nukes somebody on her period? What if he's trying new steroids? Like that's, you can't be like you can't, that's that just bugs me that that's the
He's
the
gonna take
standard
the
now.
if there was, like, a super soldier serum, like, where
Right.
he's gonna get hit by Vita rays, if he could do that, he would do that shit, right? There
Yeah.
was, in fact, like, the last, like, Captain America, which I didn't actually see, dealt with this very thing, except it was Harrison Ford, becoming
Yeah.
Red
Yeah. Yeah.
Hulk,
Yeah.
Donald Trump as Red Hulk, not, the bad. I think we can all
Yes.
agree, bad. You know what else is bad? Um, Twitter. Twitter
Correct.
sucks. Yeah, Twitter sucks. Uh, AI, especially XAI, the parent company of Twitter, and also SpaceX. I guess they're all under one boat now because Elon wanted to make more money. Um,
Sure.
and well, they had a plan, and their plan was that they were going to take Grok, and Grok was going to be the super AI, but worst fucking name for a an AI. I don't know where the fuck Grok is even from. Maybe somebody in the audience could tell us.
I
Uh,
also think it's so unfair to the very ridiculous and lovable Rob Gronkowski, who I think of every time somebody says Grok.
well, yeah, well, that's funny because it's just Grunk. You know what I mean? I will
I know.
say
I think of Gronk or Yzma
Gronk
pull the lever Gronk or whatever it is.
Gronk
That's what I think
throwing the
of.
Super Bowl. Do you remember when Gronk like threw the fucking Lombardi trophy? And everybody was giving him shit about it. Did you see
No,
this?
I don't think I saw
Yeah,
that.
it was when he was down was it down in Florida? I don't remember. Anyway, Gronk threw the Lombardi trophy, or no, it was Tom Brady throwing the Lombardi trophy to Gronk. And people were like freaking out. People were like, how can you do that? It's disrespectful. What if you drop it? You know what I mean? If there are any two people more qualified to throw like a thing
Yes.
about this big, right?
Yep.
And then successfully catch it, I feel like it's those idiots, right? Those are two people that could do that very well.
Yep.
Anyway, tangents aside, Twitter still awful. Elon Musk wanted to turn, Grok into a real boy when it came to AI, right? And so what they did was they sold their AI rights, their ability to use their AI to the federal government. Along with all the other AI companies, they all had their deals. They all came out and they had their deals to make sure that the federal government could get the latest and greatest AI packages that they want. And this is because Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth want all the AI, no matter how good it is at its job or not.
Mhm.
So they go out, they sell the AI, they're using the AI uh, for in the Iran war for picking targets. Okay, they're using the AI for picking targets, and you know how that turned out? Are you there was a school,
Enlighten me. Oh
yeah, there
no.
was a school that was bombed.
Oh
Uh,
God.
it, incidentally, in Iran, 150 kids and parents died in that school. So maybe AI is not ready for prime time, right?
No.
But Elon won't admit that. So what Elon turns around and does is he wants more AI. They want more computation, and so what they do in Alabama, they build a new data center, and it is powered by 35 gas generators. These aren't small generators; these are billowing smoke, billowing toxins into the air, and into primarily black and brown communities surrounding this data center, this giant data center that they put together. So they do this. The NAACP comes in and says, "Hey, you got some permits for this? Do you think that they had permits?"
It would surprise me if they had permits,
They
Jack.
did not, in fact, have permits. And these are apparently temporary generators, but no, they're fucking nailed to the ground. So they go in, they build all these fucking gas generators. They're putting all the smoke up, and then instead, the NAACP comes out and says, "Hey, you can't do this. You need some fucking permits." And they're like, "Oh, no, 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 we have to. Grok is a weapon." So because
Because of course,
we've
because they can get
weaponized
around.
rock, because we've weaponized rock,
Cool.
uh, now it is a national security priority that we can't get rid of. So new levels of hell exist out there, and we're learning about them every single day.
And we
What
already know, we've known for as long as AI has been available to the public that the way that it collect it is inherently biased and prejudice. It has inherent bias and prejudice in it because all of the data that it is trained on, we've seen this like with the AI cars and things like that. They're far less likely to recognize women, especially women of color. That's the lowest, like on the, oh no, we lost Jack.
Oh,
Guys, it's
I'm
just
back.
me. You're back?
Did I
Okay.
do it? I'm
Yes,
back.
you're home. Yes.
I'm here.
Uh no, I are you, is there a lag? Sounds like there might be a
No,
lag.
no,
Oh, okay, good.
I think we're good.
Um, okay, cool. I was just saying that we already know these, that the data sets that are trained on prioritize white men. The worst thing you can be in the eyes of an AI is a woman, especially with darker skin. They are less likely to recognize you as a person, like as a literal being when it's on the road, or even just to suggest you for jobs, because that's the other, we have all that data about AI assistants that do hiring for companies, and they're more likely to, it said they told it not to discriminate based on race. So then the black box problem happens. You put all this data in, you have this part of the equation that nobody knows what's going on during, and what it came up with is, I believe it was more likely to recommend people who were on their high school lacrosse team. And that was because of all the data that it had. The most, like, the candidates that had been chosen before were likely to be on their high school lacrosse team. There will always be ways of finding bias in AI. Like the best example of this was they did a study about cancerous, cancerous growths, like on the human
Yeah.
on a human body, and they were like, wow, it's identifying these at a, like, a tremendously efficient, like, good rate, like at identifying this sort of cancerous moles. And what was actually happening was it was learning to identify photos with rulers in them, because medical photos are more likely to have rulers. So rulers became cancerous to the
Yeah.
AI. And so we're just, there are so many, and then there's the thousand, fictional versions like Minority Report. Like, there are so many reasons not to use AI for deciding where you're going to strike. It will never come up with a war plan that is new or more efficient than the ones that have come before it, because it doesn't know how to do that. And we're not, and also the lives that it's willing to take, we want to pretend that it's going to be more efficient in, like, targeting specific, like, dealing with specific targets.
Yeah.
We know that's not going to happen, because the people it will see in its path seem incidental to it, because our government has already spent so much time indiscriminately bombing them.
Yeah, I actually hadn't even thought of that, and, that is there.
That's my horrible prediction.
Yeah, no, 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 that's absolutely probably right. I mean, like, the new levels of hell, every single time I read about, like, where they're just taking AI and just, like, shoehorning it into any possible
Yeah.
military application, and this was one of the problems that came around when it came to autonomous killing vehicles, right?
Hmm.
Through with Pete Hegseth. This is what got Anthropic into trouble the first time around, right? Anthropic basically said, "Hey, you can't use our AI for autonomous killing vehicles and mass surveillance in the US." And they were like, fuck that. We are going to use them for both of those. And they were like, okay, well, we don't want you to. We're not going to let you. And then they said, no, we're going to label you a supply chain risk now. So you can't do any work with the government. You can't,
Hmm.
and they lost a bunch of, I don't like to paint Anthropic as like being the
The
good
victim.
guy.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck that. But also, like, and it was funny because they were like, hey, we can't, it wasn't even like you can't do it yet. Right? Like the framing of it was like, hey, maybe just like hold a half a tick before we let you build Skynet. Like you probably can down the road, like build the fucking T-1000, but just like hold off a little bit. And they're like, absolutely not. We're gonna fucking rip and tear. Let's go, you know?
Yeah.
And so like it is astounding to me that we have people that are just so cavalier in the face of what could be disastrous results. And I think that's like ultimately the worst kind of thing about AI, right?
Hmm.
Is that there is this presupposition that everybody thinks that, oh, well, if we don't build it, somebody else will, and they'll weaponize it against us, right?
Right.
And there's no real evidence to the idea that we're going to reach this singularity, and that AI is going to become this super smart super brain, and instead it's just going to look like LLM bullshit, right? The same kind of LLM bullshit that we have right now that imagines things, that so on and so forth. Like, will it get that way in 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? Who knows?
Right.
But using it now in its current form is largely stupid, except for really rudimentary tasks. And you see, like, the business community learning this very quickly,
Yeah. Right.
it became cheaper last week. I guess somebody was saying to hire just people to do the work that they had, like, outsourced all of this work to AI to do,
Oh
right?
yeah, there were huge firings at Uber, also at Oracle. Like
Yeah.
there were huge fire layoffs, and now they're sort of quietly hiring people back at both of those companies. And there's a third one I'm forgetting. At both those companies because it's actually you actually need people on occasion to do the
Wh-
work that you want to get done. I
you need
know.
people to do work? No. Just it's either
Ugh,
it chugs a full liter of water before it tells you a poem about avocados, or it's just not, like, that's a person couldn't do that.
no. No,
Absolutely
people
not.
have never written or made
No.
movies or art. Never.
No. 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 Give me the AI actresses. That's what we
I
really
want
need
16
next.
fingers and that's
uh, wi- to give credit where credit is due, it's getting better at eating spaghetti. Have you
is it?
seen the
Oh yeah,
benchmark,
the
the Will
yeah.
Smith?
Oh
Every year, that is the one thing that it comes out, and it's like, hey, look at how good AI can eat spaghetti dressed as Will Smith.
God.
And every year, I'm kind of surprised. Every
It's
year,
oh,
it's very
it's so
that's the impressive part. But I think that that's the thing, is, like, remember back when a couple years ago you'd watch the videos of, like, Boston Dynamics, and they'd have, like, the robot dogs running around, and, like,
yeah.
the guy that the robot that does backflips and picks shit up and so on and so forth. And 20 years ago they kind of had the robot dog doing the backflips and the, like, the Atlas program picking stuff up. And then now you kind of have the same thing, right? It does it better, but are you going to, like, leave your kids with it? Or can it,
Right.
like, empty a dishwasher?
Sure.
Can
Like
it?
it's so frustrating. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is hearing people talk about AI as inevitable. And I'm like, well, let's why? And tell me why it's inevitable because sure, there are some applications that are incredible. I mean, it's better at detecting Parkinson's earlier than any human. Great. What a beautiful application. A specific application
Yeah.
that it's not going to take away anyone's job because that a doctor still needs to be there to deal with all of that. But that's fantastic. What isn't inevitable is AI art. I
Yeah.
mean, I have no interest in seeing something, an image or a story that an AI generated. Not couldn't pay me to sit through an AI generated film. Which one's coming out? I think it's 2027.
Oh,
Um,
really?
oh yeah, it's Casey Affleck, Gal Gadot.
Oh,
Um,
gross.
it's they're real, and then everything else it's in a box. They like shot it in a box and everything. I know. I'm really that makes me sad. So, but you just couldn't pay me to care about what a robot wrote because what it is, it's an amalgamation of stolen work from every fantastic author there's ever been,
Yeah.
and I just don't have any interest in spending my time or spending my money on seeing that. And when people talk about it as inevitable, it's only inevitable if we decide it is. We're actually, for this moment in time, still very much in control.
Yeah.
And we should not squander that because there is, there are threats. We've seen it. We've seen test run where it manipulates people. We've seen test run where it learns how to break out of its little thing. And I don't want to catastrophize, but we absolutely need to be like more empowered as a species
Yeah.
that we are currently still in control of what our future looks like, and it doesn't have to be data center gets all the water and everybody else just learns how to code. Nobody, like I don't want a future where all of the robots get to do the art and all we get to do is math.
Yeah.
No
Or
thanks.
not even.
Yeah, or not even.
Yeah, it's you're gonna drive the Ubers. No, we won't drive the Ubers.
I can't think of one.
I
Yeah,
mean, like that will lead to eventually the really strong concentration of wealth in the select few that own the AI, right? And everybody else can kind of go fuck themselves. Even with some level of UBI, that's not actually gonna happen.
yeah,
I did want to make a correction. There was a comment from Barksy in the chat said the data center is in Memphis, Tennessee. That is correct.
okay,
The one that the NAACP is suing over to get them to stop polluting the fucking shit out of the air. And it's across their powers is across the state line in Missouri. So there you go.
okay.
I did want to touch back on one AI thing because I saw this going around and I wanted your hot take on it. Have you seen that very catchy song about Puerto
Puerto
Rico?
Rico?
Yeah, the
Yes,
okay. So here's my thing. It's very catchy, right? It's a very catchy ditty, right?
sure.
Like it does the thing, right? It's memeable, it's short. Clearly somebody fed this thing into Sona
Mhm.
and then that's how they do it. They do it like they have a travel blog. If you don't people don't know what I'm talking about, there was like this little AI song that people really became a meme sensation about Puerto Rico. It sounds like yacht rock from the 80s. I think
Yeah,
that's a fair explanation. It's got catchy lyrics. And so people had then gone out and covered this song with real instruments and then put that out there too. So at what point, and I'm not saying that this song is art, right?
no,
But is there, like, another thing, right? So we don't think about, like, fast food as food. We we don't think
sure,
about it we don't think about, like, chicken like, going to McDonald's and, like, just scarfing up, like, the most McDonald's I liked McDonald's back in the day, genuinely.
sure.
E
I mean, it's
the
designed to be enjoyed.
Yeah, the most McDonald's I have ever eaten in one sitting was a Big Mac meal and a 20-piece nuggets together, all in one. I
That's
did not
impressive.
feel well. I was in my 20s. It was, So, my question to you is this stuff isn't going anywhere. The Sonas, the ChatGPTs, the AI art, the kind of the AI for like graphic design, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Is there a could there be room for a thing that isn't art, but is like the fast casual of not maybe not fast casual, the fast food of human existence as expressed through art. Do you see what I'm saying?
I totally see what you're saying, and for me, the best description and also very dystopian description of the rise of this sort of fast food version of art, of humor, of that sort of thing, is that AI was designed to I'm not gonna attribute the quote properly, but I thought it was stellar. So AI is designed to give people with money access to skill, and
Sure.
and deny people with skill compensation for their work. Because if you give the people with the money access for, you're essentially the market's diluted enough to where it doesn't you're not going to be able to get money for what you do. I I'm an actor in LA, so like I have artist friends in every field. I have made a personal choice as best as I can. I don't attend events that have AI flyers. I don't use my, I don't give my attention to music that was made with AI products, because at the end of the day, to me, yeah, I think there is a third thing. There is something between art and just, mindless typing or whatever. There is something. It does create, you know, it doesn't invent anything new, but it does create something that in this particular way didn't exist before. I have yet to see something that I thought, oh, that was worth it. So
Sure.
that's how I feel about it. I just don't have any, there might be room in the world. There is no room in my heart. I will not give my, I just can't give my eyeballs to things that we're not, that are going to take jobs away from people. Do you know the art of freaking music production? That's like a world I don't even know anything about. And when I watch my friend who is a whiz at that stuff, on her computer doing like producing a song, the part that I love about songs are the lyrics. That's what I'm guilty of. It's
Sure.
why I love Taylor Swift. I'm like, hell yeah, give me a friggin' poem with some piano in the background. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to like stream directly into my ears. But when I watch my friend do the production, the behind the scenes work, the stuff that would make that Puerto Rico song sound so like snappy and catchy and fun, that's the stuff that people became experts at. And the only reason that it can do it is because it illegally harvested hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people's work.
Sure.
So at this point, I'm like, we could support the third thing, but the third thing is just plagiarism.
I
That's
think I think it's
my
a great
take.
point. No, I think that's a great point. I like people the fact that they have not come up with I saw this thing the other day where they were showing like, "Oh, do you think that Grok just has like a database of cat pictures that when you tell it to draw a cat, it just like spits out a JPEG of a thing." And then it was like they went out and it's like, "Show me a picture from Infinity War." And it was like side by side with like Thanos and Infinity War and what the thing drew, and they're fucking identical, right?
Right,
It
right.
basically traced the other thing and spit it out as its own new work, you know?
Yeah,
So I think that you're right, it is plagiarism. It is unattributed to the actual original author. And you're right, AI can't come up with new stuff right
yeah.
just yet. It also can't be funny.
It cannot be funny. It is are
No.
just so bad at being funny. Also, oh my god, have you seen the series of like? There's a fabulous commercial director who does a series where he tries to direct AI actors.
No.
And oh okay, well I'm gonna put you on after this. I'm gonna send it to you. It's so funny, but it's like you can't. They just don't even have any concept of like what they can look like a person and then like sort of do it, and then it'll say something in gibberish, or it'll deliver a joke with the emphasis on like the word the in the middle somewhere, and I'm like, what are we doing? You
It
guys, I think what everybody needs to do is I want to turn everybody back onto Fiverr. You need your song produced, you can do that for $5. You want graphic design, you can do that for $5. Like that's what I just think there's such a community to be sought after and created for people who want that work done by people who want to do that for a living, who would kill to get paid to do their art,
yeah.
instead of that guy writing those admittedly funny lyrics, if he did write them, and then putting them into a program that'll do the thing that an artist could have done for you for $10 in 25 minutes.
Well, you know what AI is not gonna be able to do?
Tell me.
It's not gonna be able to vaccinate your kids. And you know who else isn't going to be able to vaccinate your kids? Apparently the US government. Tell us about RFK and Bernie Sanders and some CDC emails that were just released. So what's going on with that, Jude?
So there were some CDC emails that Bernie brought to light after some committee hearings or meetings, and essentially what we can glean from these emails is that RFK was here. Wait, I'm not going to get this wrong because this is so important. Um, these emails they imply, okay, Kennedy instructed the CDC's vaccine advisory to uh, to restrict vaccine availability. It permitted researchers to access research that has been debunked about vaccines being linked to autism, essentially giving them a nudge in the direction to rethink and relook at that. And it modified the public guidelines for the COVID-19 vaccine without consulting the CDC whatsoever. We also see that he's trying to see if there is a way to take the vaccines out of the Vaccines for Children program, which is kind of the substance of that program.
It feels
And
like the only thing that they do.
it's the only thing it does. It would
Okay.
be, in fact, Jack, the only thing that does. But he's trying to make it less, just altogether more difficult to get vaccines and more difficult to prove that they are safe and effective. Because here's the thing is when these people make a claim, there's no being wrong. They want to be right and they will do anything to be right about it. They will draw with a Sharpie on a fucking weather map. They will, this is them trying to support their bullshit claims by rigging the evidence in their favor, by releasing more confusion. But this is what we're talking about. This is chaos. This is trying to make government look incompetent because they refuse to have been wrong on an issue.
Yeah.
And what we're going to see in 2027, which we knew already, but this is it's just so in the same vein, is that we after gosh, I can remember like a 30% cut to the staffing at the CDC. He wants to cut another 12.5% of the budget for all health organizations, all
Jesus
federal
Christ.
government health organizations. So yeah, that's speaking of
It
bad things indeed.
Yeah, hold on, because you're clearly AI. You as an AI actress yourself, you need to hydrate and drink some
Sorry.
water.
Yeah, I do. I have to chug that whole thing every time I do a sentence.
Is in the middle of the bit. I no, I look, this is without a doubt like it, I want to backtrack here for a second, back to 2003,
Mhm.
2002. I'm sitting in my dorm in Minot, North Dakota, because I was in the military at the time. And I was sitting down. I remember it like it was fucking yesterday. I'm sitting there reading the internet and I saw somebody post to, I don't know if it was the Reddit of the time, a dig,
Sure.
Reddit dig. I have no idea what was back then. Maybe it was dig. Uh, Something awful. Who knows? It was a forums. Somebody was like, check this out. The Flat Earther Society exists, you know?
Okay.
And I went to the website. I went to the website and said, "Oh, what's going on here?" And it's a whole fucking website about like the flat earth. These people believe that there is a flat earth, that the sun revolves around the top of this dome,
Yep.
that there's an ice shield that surrounds. I was like, this is fucking nut. This is hilarious. This is
What
really
fantastic fan fiction.
funny. Yeah, this is great. This is some of the best fanfic that I've ever read. Like they've done some serious like world building here. Like the CIA doesn't want you to scale the ice wall. And I'm like, what the fuck's on the other side of the ice wall? And they're like, I don't know, God, I guess. And I'm like, that's brilliant. I love it. Uh, and then I realized very quickly they believe this shit,
Right.
right? They believe this shit. And I remember at the time, because like a year before, the dawn of the internet, I'm like, oh, everybody's going to get smarter. Everybody's going to get smarter from the
Ugh.
internet because you'll have undeniable truth in, like at the time in your laptop, in your phone, in your thing. Like you can't stand in front of all of this scientific evidence for years and go, well, that doesn't exist. I thought that it was parody. And then I started reading about vaccines, right? And I thought, there's no way that people are believing that vaccines are a government conspiracy. There's just no possible way.
Mhm.
And my world was again shattered as like people like were like, oh, polio, that's not a thing, that's fucking, that's, they put that in the bread to make you sick so you'd take the drugs that track you, or
Yeah.
like, it's the birds, that all birds are robots type,
Oh yeah, birds
conspiracy
aren't
thing.
real.
Yeah,
Shout
birds
out
aren't
Claire.
real.
Uh-huh.
So I guess my point is that like when you start taking away the vaccines from the children, right? In an effort to like just reassure you of your worldview, it gets really fucking scary really
Yeah,
quickly, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, it would be like if they said, well, from now on, NASA has to use all the calculations that we've come up with for the flat Earth for
Yeah,
all of their launches. They don't care that that's going to kill astronauts. They just care that they're going to be taken seriously in some way. Their
exactly.
claim is going to be taken seriously. There was a
That's
great,
exactly right.
oh man, I love to quote a tweet. And it made me laugh so hard. They were like, there's something in water that makes you pee. And I was like, that's so that's all of this sounds a little bit. I'm like, there's some conspiracy. I'm like, tell me more.
I you know,
It's so good.
well, it's funny because you see the real world consequences downstream of this. So, like,
Yeah.
did you hear about the Air Force with their vaccine situation?
No, I
So
don't think I did.
the Air Force, Pete Hegseth went out there. He was like, no more
Sorry, I made a
fucking.
joke. I have to drink. Just give me a second.
Oh yeah, I'll drink with you. Mm.
You have to consume the
It tastes like
appropriate amount of water.
yeah, I'm quantifying thing. I'm like I'm calculating. I'm doing my stuff.
So what happened in the Air Force?
So what happened in the Air Force? They have been listening to their scientists that are like, vaccines. Who the fuck wants a vaccine? You shouldn't take vaccines. It's vaccine harm. No jab for me. And they were like, you can opt out. Hegseth came out and said, you can now opt out of the vaccines. Don't worry about it. Nothing can go wrong. Don't worry about it. You know what happened when at Lackland Air Force Base when a whole bunch of young airmen decided that they weren't going to get the flu vaccine? Can you
No.
guess?
Did they get the flu?
Everybody got the fucking flu. There
No.
was a mass outbreak of the flu. Everybody got the flu because I don't know if you are aware, in basic training you sleep in bunk beds in rows, where there's like 50, 60 people in a room,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So the flu goes around really fucking quickly.
Sure.
Also pink eye goes around
Ugh.
really. There was a pink eye in my flight in basic training. There was an outbreak of pink eye. I don't think I got the pink eye. I'm glad I didn't. But
That's so
yeah,
good.
there was a lot
Ugh.
of there was a lot of pink eye. It's gross. So yeah, everybody got the flu, unsurprisingly.
Sure.
And so what did they have to do? They felt the real world impact of everybody getting the flu, and then basically having to cancel an entire time period of basic training, and said, oh, this is really bad for our mission readiness. Maybe people need to take the fucking flu vaccine. So they turn around the next, like, a month later, and they were like, yeah,
Sure.
you need to take your fucking flu vaccine. Like,
Oh boy.
and instead they want to do it with kids, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the dark thing about all of this, is then they turn around and they're like, oh yeah, so instead, now it's not like going to be the next time, it's not going to be a funny, everybody gets the flu in the Air Force, a bunch of like 22 somethings that can sleep it off.
Right.
It's going to be kids that die,
And
right?
that's the part that is so frustrating to me is that they market it as, well, it's a personal choice. And to me, yeah, absolutely. It is a personal choice. It's a personal choice for the safety of the entire community. There are people who genuinely, for real reasons, can't be vaccinated, whether they're immunocompromised, whether they're going through radiation, like their chemotherapy. Like there's so many reasons that you actually cannot get vaccinated, and you rely on the herd immunity. You rely on the other people doing the smart thing and taking the jab because you need to, because that's what your life depends on it. When you're a 5-year-old kid with leukemia, you can't go to school unless enough people have been vaccinated. Like when your immune system is building itself back, there's no, you just can't take the risk. And it's very telling that these people saw the effects of their irresponsible policy in the Air Force, and instead of instead of using that to go, oh, maybe this is something that we should, take another look at. Maybe
Yeah.
everybody should be getting vaccinated at the appropriate intervals at the appropriate times, as has been stated by every health organization that is respectable. That no, well, it was just here. We'll just give them all the flu shot, and then everybody, and there won't be any more vaccination, requirements in public schools or whatever it is. All the stuff that they've been pushing.
It's continued absurdity. It's continued the dumbest fucking people alive we put in charge of public health.
Jack,
And
it's just makes my blood boil. Sorry, I'm just thinking about kids, and I can't like the
Yeah,
children's safety. I just like feel like I mean, you have kids, that's their school. Like
I
that's
do.
ridiculous. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean they threaten the health and well-being of these kids. And if you have, I think that there's something that broke inside of uh these people's brains. I think that when they genuinely, I think that there is a you are looking for reasons, right? When bad things happen to your kids, right? Whether or not they have a learning disability or like something like profound autism
Sure.
or a medical disability or something like that. You are looking for a reason, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for someone to explain the universe to you. And it can't be enough just to be like, "Hey, my kid is different." Right?
Right.
It's my kid is different because and people look for some answer. And for some amount of people, they came up with this answer of vaccines being the scapegoat, right?
Sure.
That vaccines did this to my kid, and if I am able to, I will prevent other kids from being hurt. Despite the fact that if you explain the actual science of them, if you explain like the medical history surrounding all of these things, you realize that, like, yeah, vaccine injury is an actual thing, right?
Sure.
Is a real thing. It is an infinitesimally small thing, right?
Yeah.
And drastically outweighs the bet or drastically weighed against the benefits of vaccines, is important, right?
Mhm.
Said another way, if we have to endure some level of vaccine injury, to make sure that the herd is safe, that for the greater good of humanity and the kids out there who can't get vaccinated, this is a good thing. So when people started opting out for choice, uh, or these crazy off the what the new religious reasons for it and X, Y, and Z, it just became absurd, you know?
Well, absolutely, and we this is interesting because it's what we were talking about last time as well of like, well, what is this gonna do for me? Once there was,
Yeah.
you have to absorb some inherent risk, some inherent risk for the greater good. That's become, well, what is this gonna do for me? And I'm saying when I get to be 80 and I get really sick taking a booster shot, I really hope that everybody else has had them, Like
Yeah.
I want that's just the whole of it. That's what I that's how we protect people who are unable to get the preventative treatments. And it is true that like, yeah, like most kids start presenting like diagnosable signs of autism around the same time that people are given the MNR vaccine. Like there are lots of reasons why, totally understand why it should have even been looked into. 100%. But the evidence doesn't bear it out. It's
No.
not true. And that's just the thing of it now is that, yeah, we thought that might be it. We looked into it. That's not what it was. That's just not what it is. So now instead of using resources to like siphoning resources towards help for people who like have potentially kids with really profound autism, we're not even putting those resources there anymore, because they're being siphoned now. I mean, RFK wants to open more avenues of research into this claim that is debunked. It's over, it's
Yeah.
done. That's not, we know this now. It's just, oh,
I don't have a good segue. Paxton has a new girlfriend.
Ken Paxton.
I thought through that entire last segment, how am I going to segue to Ken Paxton's new boo? What is
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. So
so
tell
they
us the
keep
hot
calling
goss
the
about
hot goss.
Ken
Okay, guys,
Paxton.
here's the tea. Um, so
We're on a
okay,
very
this
different podcast all of a sudden.
yeah, exactly. There is a video circulating right now of People are calling her his mistress. He's going through a divorce. I don't care who he's sleeping with. I care that she's a Christian influencer, mother of 7, and she's married. So he's the side piece. He's the mistress now. And this is so
The
it's just
mastress,
the
the
there
the
there should be a
moist,
word,
the
but
moistress,
for a man who does
the
that,
mistress,
mistress. I like
mistress.
that. But there's it's not it's so to me it's just one of those things where that's so frustratingly hypocritical on so many levels. His wife, by the way, divorced him on biblical grounds. That was her reason for divorce.
What are biblical grounds?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just assuming that he'd like touched a dead pig skin or mixed fabrics or something. Yeah, that must have
He
been it.
did
Probably.
he sowed his beans side by side.
Yes,
He disobeyed
exactly.
the Sabbath.
Oh no,
Um,
he was working on a Sunday and it was a
there you
whole
go.
mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said divorce.
Yeah.
And
I
she's a state senator in Texas as well.
I don't understand, like, okay, just from I will say his new lady, that he's getting involved with, she is married currently.
She is.
This woman, this new person that he's getting in divorce, she is not getting a divorce. Maybe they're just canoodling.
Well, I don't know. She is I don't know the state of her marriage. I know that the way that she presents it is as you would imagine a Christian influencer would.
7 kids.
7 kids.
Okay, 7 kids is too many. I'm just gonna
That's
come
a lot
out
of
here
kids.
and make a blanket statement. 7 children. I have 2, and 2, that's good. That's a good level.
Yeah, one for each hand. Like
1
you
for
kind
each
of
hand. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, that's the nice thing. If you have 1 kid, you basically have, like, half a kid. 2 kids, it's a completely reason 2 kids is kinda 1 kid, especially when they get old enough, they can, like, kind of be kids together.
right.
7 kids is actually 27 children, right? They are just they're everywhere. I don't know, what do you even how do you even remember that many names? I do not absolutely not, absolutely not.
No,
I'm
it's
judging
that's
this person based on the amount of children that she's had. I mean, how many kids does Elon Musk have now? Doesn't he have, like, isn't he up to, like,
yeah,
14?
his army of sons, except for my favorite, my girl, Vivian
Yeah.
icon.
No, it is bizarre, and in the middle of a race too. Like, they just don't Ken Paxton, this is a man that has 0 shame.
And it would have also been so much easier to deny it if in at the end of the video he notices that he's being taped and he like immediately takes his hand off her. And I'm like, if you had just like pretended it was chill and you guys were friends, you wouldn't like that. You could have maybe skirted this. Like you could have maybe been like, yeah, me and my buddy, whatever. Like it was so obvious. It was like the Coldplay couple.
Oh,
You remember those
yeah.
guys? It felt like that. It was like, oh, they're being filmed in that immediately. I was like, dude. I don't know. I will say I
If
don't
the
know anything about
Coldplay
her
couple
husband. So
hadn't, like, ducked down immediately, like, none of that would have come to
it
pass,
wouldn't
you
gone
know?
viral.
If you
That's the
are
thing.
yeah, here's the tip of the day from, the Jack Einecker show. If you are cheating on your wife or husband in a public place and you are on the Jumbotron, don't recoil in fear. That will go viral. If you lean in, give them a peck on the cheek, no one will notice. Not a single person will know. You have to lean in when you're caught. You have to shaggy that situation, you know?
Wait,
E
she said she does
Act
grief
normal.
counseling, so now I'm feeling like maybe her husband has passed. Nika, I would love some clarity on this person before we talk about her husband
On the oh,
on that on the mistress.
oh. Well,
It
good
looks
for
she does. Yeah, I can't even. It was such a bizarre video. I mean, and also during a race that's been just plagued with uh, scandal on his part. It's
yeah. I mean,
um
he went in with the rest of the Republican field basically saying that he is the worst possible option amongst all of the bad options, right? Like, it is astounding to me that that is even, close, you know? This is a guy in Ken Paxton who was, repeatedly found to have committed, uh, actual ass crimes, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And censured in any way possible by his own party, let alone the state of Texas. So it is astounding to me that this is even close to a race, you know?
Mhm.
But Republicans cannot in the same it's very funny because you see in the Plattner race in Maine a lot of like, centrist Democrats throwing up their arms in the air and saying, well, maybe I'll have to go vote for Susan Collins, maybe I'll have to, switch to the other side. And Republicans don't do that, right? Moderate Dems will find a Mitt Romney esque Republican and be like, it's fine. It's fine. Whereas
Yeah.
98% of the time, the Republicans will hold their nose and vote for the Republican. You gotta fuck up real bad to figure out a way for Republicans not to vote for you. But
Okay,
um
wait. I have to correct
okay.
some things. Okay, because what I'm coming to understand, I believe, because everybody's been saying that this woman is married. It seems like she actually was divorced in July or August last year. But Ken Paxton, while his wife filed for divorce, is not yet divorced. Imagine they're separated. It sounds like they're estranged, and it's just all so messy. It's just I don't even there's so much there is currently so much mixed information because it was a story that broke like 2 days ago.
So wait, is
So,
the
well,
husband dead or not?
I know he's not dead. Doesn't
Oh,
I don't think he's
Mazel
dead,
tov.
but yes, welcome back to the living Troy Dohan. Duhan. No, I think that there's a little so here's the thing. If they're two divorced adults participating in a consenting affair, I don't really give a fuck. But just don't pretend that you're I don't know, you're like Christian influencer, that whole culture. If you're pretending that there's like some amicable like this everything is all good, and then also why are you being so weird about it if you're seeing this woman and you're on a bus and you're there together, like, and you have your hand on her waist and you're divorced and she's divorced, why are you being so weird, like
I I
I don't know.
don't
I
think that I agree with you in principle about like the marital relations not being most of our businesses, right?
Yeah.
The hypocrisy sucks, right?
Hmm.
And I think there is a little bit of a difference between going out there and saying the awful things that he does about his opponents,
Hmm.
at the same time that he is doing these sinful behavior, you know?
Hmm.
If he was a live and let live type dude and then was also having a messy relationship, I feel like I could have a little bit more empathy there, a little bit
Yeah,
more
totally.
sympathy for what he's going through. Same thing with like Plattner, right? So the Plattner thing with him being involved in some textual situationships, I think is the best way to put that. He did some inappropriate shit, apologized to his wife, went to therapy, like did the work, and then downstream decided to run for office.
That's a different, yeah, right.
Canoodling with your boo on a public bus and throwing it in kind of people's faces while you like
Or on the way to
support
Europe with her.
making while you make put up a you make every Texas school kid read the Bible, right?
Right, right.
That is a little bit more hypocrisy than one can stand.
So we have Nika in the chat saying, so in fact, she was the mistress, and that was part of the reason that his wife filed for divorce. He was cheating on her with two women. One of them was this
2.
woman, Duhan.
Oh my
So,
god.
and they were on their way to this on that I saw because they were on like an airport tram. So they were on this European vacation, like on their way.
Where do you
Yeah,
find the time to cheat with 2 with 2 separate women?
where do you find the time to go to Europe during a race?
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, but I suppose if you're that man, say what you will about, his qualities, that man can multitask. I ca
Um, that's so funny.
I can't I can't keep up this many hobbies. I gotta finish game. Like my backlog of games is too long right now to pick up any more hobbies.
Yeah,
And he's got 2 mistresses?
yeah, that's so impressive.
Jesus. That whew.
That Jack, I really want to talk about the America 250 kickoff.
Yes, we're gonna talk about the America 250, and then we have to go because it is, in fact, World Cup Day. It is my wife's birthday, and she
Yay!
wants to go get a beer and watch a World Cup game and drink a beerorita at our local beer garden. So
Excellent.
we're gonna hang out for tell us about 250 and the disaster that it's
Oh
been.
yeah.
My favorite thing about 250, and please tell me what your favorite thing is is the fact that they've wildly coyoted painted on the
Yes.
side of the columns on the buildings to give them three dimension.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So they the triumphal arch or whatever it was supposed to be was built, and it's a block of concrete, and they painted on fake like carve outs. They painted on fake little I'm not an architect. Painted on fake little like little ledges and things like that, things to make it look all fancy.
Yeah.
Um yeah, which was just that was so funny. My favorite part about it, have you heard about the sunglasses guy?
No.
Oh, Jack,
Who's
I'm so
sunglasses
excited.
guy?
Sunglasses, so they posted, like, the account for that posted,
Oh,
a
yeah.
picture of one of the performers. I don't know her name. She looked very cute. I'm so sorry that she succumbed to this kind of event.
Don't feel bad for
Um,
her. She made her choices.
that's all right, fair enough. Okay. Um, and her guitarist was wearing shades, and they have a picture of them performing. Looks like a jolly old time. In the shades there are 6 people on reflected on the ground. It was less than a dozen people that were watching this performance. And once people noticed that and zoomed in and were like, hey guys, you said there were 45,000 people here. I see about 8 maybe. They took the photo down, cropped it, and put it back up.
Oh my
It's
god.
just a picture of her now. It just doesn't have sunglasses man in it, which just mwah, perfect. But also
I
Trump said there were going to be 45,000 people there. NBC estimated there were less than 2,000. They generously said there are over 1,000 people here. Guys, less than 2,000. And at this America 250 4th of July rah 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 let's go patriotism event, it was MAGA merch all over the
oh yeah.
stands, everywhere. It nothing about, I would we not a we the people shirt in sight. Just big old red hats. And that was so and a Ferris wheel. And that was the event.
Mike Funk in the chat says this is the world's safest mosh pit.
That
You
yeah, correct.
the manifest destiny of mosh pits where you've got all the room just to spread out and
Yeah.
flail, you know?
Yeah.
Like you've got it's very safe, very safe.
Very safe.
Um there have been so many dumb stories that have come out about this. One about this man in an Uncle Sam costume, I guess who's a streamer, who was doing some was how would I put this? Some exploring of his own countryside at the American 250 rally while
Oh.
watching acrobatic performers.
Oh no, I haven't heard about this.
Did you hear about this?
No.
Yes. He was apparently he was exploring sea to signing she with his hands in places that they shouldn't have been uh
No.
while watching the acts and was arrested. This
Oh
is a
wow.
MAGA influencer. This is a real thing.
Oh god.
Was arrested and that is just like
Yeah.
I do mourn for what could have been because apparently uh the and I did not do any reading about this whatsoever. So I'm just going to tell you shit that I heard on the internet from another person, which is not, this is not, I'm not a journalist. All right. I'm not a journalist. I'm not
This is a
like,
gossip show,
this is
you
a
guys.
gossip show. I don't know. Somebody fucking told me. Be like, what's the at? Be like, I don't know. I watched it and then liked it, maybe, and then scrolled away. Like, so apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be true, this might not be. Um, the 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 original plan for this was the Smithsonian was going to do this gigantic festival of festivals, right? This was the plan for the 250th anniversary of the US because apparently people still talk about the bicentennial and how amazing that was, right?
Okay.
Or but not bicentennial, it would be the one in 76. I don't know what they would have called that
Oh,
one.
okay. So like the
Yeah.
century, we're one, yay, 100 sort of thing.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
what are
Or
that's
not
the
100, 200.
no, that's the bicentennial. What's this? Because bi means 2, 2 centuries. What
But
are
bi
we at?
also occasionally means half.
What are we currently at? The
Merca
no.
250.
Yeah, America 250. Anyway, this is not important to the story whatsoever. America 250 because about 250 people showed up. I love that. Love that tweet. That's my favorite one
That
from
was
the whole
great.
thing. So anyway, what was originally supposed to happen, according to this YouTuber, was that the Smithsonian had collected all of this money and was going to have a festival of festivals where all like the Live Aid and all the other like big music festivals would put on their own festival at the festival, right?
Okay.
So it was going to be like this epic concert for like 12 days, right? Of just big act after big act after big act for the entire thing.
Hmm.
But it was the nonpartisan version, right? Because Donald Trump didn't have his name on it, right? Couldn't market it, couldn't package it, since they just killed it. They killed it in the
I
womb.
also heard this. I also heard that when it was, then they tried to pivot to having something more Trumpian, and and the artist just pulled out because they're like, oh, we didn't realize it was going to be like that,
Yeah. Uh,
and that just became what it was.
it
And so
is
he opened the show and did a speech where he said 45,000 people were there, and it was less than two.
I can't imagine like I do wonder, like, it's funny because we would be hearing from Republicans fucking crazy shit about the money that this would have cost, and so on and so forth. Like all the semi-quincentennial. Gonna interrupt
Wow.
myself that Nika from the chat, by the way, big hands out up to Nika in the chat, our producer on the ones and twos, ever diligent, letting me know that every 250 years of a country's history is its semi quincentennial.
Sure,
Thank you,
because
Nika,
that's half of 500 years. So there you go.
for 500 years. So, anyway, it was going to be cool. It was going to be fucking cool. And I think
Yeah,
that that's the real problem that, and this is kind of something to go out on. And the thing that we kind of continue to mourn over time with the Trump administration is the what could have been, right?
sure.
What would the US look like right now? What would our I don't think our lives would be materially different, all things considered. Maybe there would be some degree of we wouldn't have the tariffs, so we wouldn't have so much inflation. We would have had smarter people at the helm to steer the ship. But I do mourn for the the general vibe that specifically for this event and the 250th anniversary of the United States, the vibe that would have existed under a uh, Democratic presidency, a
Yeah,
Harris presidency, especially. She would have
yeah,
been okay, you know, and this would have
yeah.
been a lot more fun.
Hmm.
And I
And
wouldn't be
meaningful.
doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, and since it is your wife's birthday, we won't talk until the quincentennial, so we can just we
We've been on
can
this show for 250 minutes. That's what we should do. We should do a 250
an America's
minute
250.
long stream,
Yes.
to celebrate the founders, and
Yeah.
all of their gross. Somebody made an awful thing in the chat, and I just saw that. No, don't look at the. I said it out loud.
What?
Ugh,
What?
gross. What? I'm gonna delete it because can I delete it? No, I can't. Nika, delete that shit.
Jack,
Um,
are you selling this?
what? um,
That was directed at you.
I hope so. I hope so. And the answer is no. I've already sold all of mine.
Mhm.
If you have any questions for us before we get out of here, or on upcoming
It's about other
lives
things.
about other things, you can reach out to us here at the Jack Heinecker Show at jack@fubarpack.org. That is jack@fubarpack.org. You can also DM us, and then we will love to fill you in on that. Any questions that you have. First question, we touched on this really quick. We touched on this at the beginning of the show. First question comes in from Ashrath, a bunch of numbers. And Jude, as is tradition, you get to tell me where Ashrath is from.
What did I do last time? I did Dubuque. I think I'm going uh Springfield, and in which state it is up to you.
Okay, Springfield, Illinois.
Okay.
Um,
Because there's one in every state, you know.
yeah, I know.
It's my favorite fact.
Illinois seems to be the one that works, right? That's
That's
the
I mean, it's the most popular for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ashrash says, "What do you think about the recent Supreme Court decision?" Well, there were a couple that came out today. Some of them are okay. I would have liked the Supreme Court decision specifically regarding the entire basis of our fucking country to not be a as close as it was. That birthright citizenship didn't come down to a single vote, because that's awful.
Yep.
Um, I have not read the full decision yet, because it's 130 pages long, and I look forward to reading it. They should come out
And
with the
we've been
decisions
here.
on. Yeah, we have been here. I would really love if they came out with the decisions on book on tape. That would be
Yes.
great. Oh god, I would listen to the fuck out of those.
I would listen to Sonia Sotomayor read me her dissents. Oh my God, are
Okay.
you kidding me?
Okay. So here's I want to
Or
follow
Elena
up with
Kagan.
this really quickly. You said I have to go. Do I need to go to Fiverr to get someone to read me the
Ooh,
Supreme Court decision?
I bet that you could.
Okay.
I bet somebody would do that for you.
Because there is a you can just throw it into AI and it'll just read it to you, in the voice. But you've indoctrinated.
Nah.
You've made a good point. I should go get somebody to read this to me on Fiverr.
Yeah.
Uh
Then they'll use less water.
I don't, you know what? I don't know if they will. You got to do a lot of talking there,
You know? Okay. All
There's a
right.
lot
Well,
of
I mean, yes.
hydration needed for that.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm still
Um
I'm still going less water.
Yeah. What are my opinions? Some of them are okay. Some of them are bad. The ruling that there is no such thing as basically an independent agency except for the Fed it is bad.
Yeah.
That's going to be bad for the country. It is going to be bad for everybody who lives here.
Yeah.
So I sure would have liked that to go a different way. Just going through here, another comment. This wasn't actually a question. Coming up with just talking about 250. Some states gave a booth with some fucking chairs, and it cracks me up. And
Yeah.
it did me as well. It looked like a really bad, like, seminar, like, that you
Yeah.
would go to, where I would get, like, a pamphlet about, like, a massage parlor that I'm not
Oh yeah.
gonna go to, or, like, some shitty takeout food down
No,
the
it
street,
looked like every single booth was trying to get you, like, lure you into a timeshare meeting. Like
Yes.
They want 3 hours of your time so you can pay them hundreds of dollars for 1 week a year to be in Tampa. Like, that was
Ugh.
every booth had that vibe.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely that fits it perfectly. Donald Trump is trying to sell you a timeshare at
I'm shocked he wasn't at
250.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, he would have fucking timeshares at his resort. Okay, I think we're good on questions. I think that's it. Jude, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me at Hey Jude Mayer on it's right here down at the bottom. On Instagram, on Threads, on TikTok, and that's where you can find me. I talk about politics and I talk about some occasionally a documentary. Then I do this, and then I come here and I do this with Jack, and that's what I
Great.
do.
That's what
Um,
we do.
and I wish your wife a very happy birthday and hope you enjoy your beer burritos.
Thank you. We're gonna go get some beer-ritas and watch
Beer
the
beer Ritas?
football. Beer-rita? Beer
Beer-ritas? Okay. No, I
beer-garita?
pronounced it wrong, so
Beer-garita?
I don't know.
Margarita plus beer. Beer-garita. No, beer-garita. That sounds like a Star Wars character. Be
It's
like,
his
"You have to go to the 5th moon of Endor and see beer-garita."
yes, they're like in one of the pub where they're playing like the cantina scene.
Y
That's where
See,
you
that's the
meet
one
Beer
thing
Garita.
is, AI probably could make that up. Okay.
'Cause it
Goodbye.
wasn't funny? No, just
We'll
kidding.
we'll see you next week. If you wanna be a co-host on the Jack Einecker show, and not make fun of me, no, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.